Okay, so I was just scrolling on Reddit after waking up from a long ass nap. My legs hurt. I've walked like 15 miles in the past 2 days. Well, yeah, well, 3 days. Well, 2 days. I mean, this is like the third day, but I walked 10 miles yesterday and then 5 miles the day before that. My legs hurt. But, no, I watched this video of this grandma stopping her kid from shoplifting with like three of his other friends out of a Walmart or out of a Walgreens. She's yelling at him. At one point, the part that I stopped it at, I started talking to myself. Decided, I don't want to talk about it with myself. I'd rather just record it and then have it for the future. Um, she said they don't want to see you win, you know. Um, and it got me thinking. I don't even think anyone actually gives a fuck. Just like the world doesn't care, most people don't care. Most people in administration don't give a fuck. Most cops don't give a fuck. But humans are notoriously fucking stupid. We're all fucking stupid, dude. You know, it's not really meant to be an insult. It's just like we're all ignorant we're all ignorant to the true scale of the universe, right? We're also all very ignorant to a lot of different things on our one planet in regards to suffering, in regards to just pure information, um, and understanding each other in different walks of life, right? But the point is that what the fuck is that? God damn it! Oh my goodness! Oh great! Hold on, hold on. Oh my god! Oh goodness! What the fuck was that? Okay. I guess I shouldn't have left my I guess maybe I shouldn't have left that this window open for so long. No, there was fuck. There was something flying on my screen just now. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was something crawling on my laptop screen, and then it started flying around. So it's like a little moth or something in here now. And that's great. Anyways, um, fuck. I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Um, but I did just remind myself of the video I recorded yesterday of the weird alien looking tendril thing in the tree. Definitely didn't look like a paper bag, bro. The little the tentacle or tendril or whatever the fuck it was at the bottom of the thing in the tree. Um, it didn't look like a floating bag, bro. It looked like a tail or something. Freaked me the fuck out. I didn't walk under it, dude. And I also haven't left today to see if it's still there. It's like a few blocks down from where I am now, from the street I'm on now. Um, no, but showing that video to my little cousin and hearing my voice back, I still hate the way it sounds. But I also have to remind myself that that's not how it actually sounds. It's just the way it comes through. Um, while it's recorded, you know. So like when you listen to someone, you don't truly hear them. Like you're not truly listening to what they sound like. You know. Well, I mean, I guess you are. It's like it's not too different, but yeah. And it's also kind of sad because it's only the difference having between using essentially using your voice in a way that where you have bass in it, and in a way that you don't have bass. And if you just normally speak without much bass in your voice, then that's how it comes across. But I don't know, you know? It's not that I don't, my voice can get deep, but I don't really care all that much to actively make my voice deeper all the time. It doesn't really matter to me. But it just means I have to deal with not liking my voice when I have to hear it back. I also don't like the way I pronounce things certain times. I don't like the stereotypically dorky way of the way I sound, you know what I mean? Like think of like I don't know, the only way you can put it is just think of a black nerd or dork in a movie, and that's literally how I feel like I sound. And it's not that I don't really care, but when I hear it back or when I think of it in the moment, I just don't want to speak again, you know? It would be much easier if I could just make myself essentially just handicap the fuck out of myself, rip up my vocal cords and replace them with some kind of machine that still lets me speak. Maybe it just translates the words from my brain and I just speak. Or it like reads the intent of me trying to say words and then it says them in a voice that I specifically pick for it. Um, you know, and that's fine. That would solve a lot of fucking issues. You know, cause damn, dude, like holy fuck. The only issue is I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't. I think I hate saying that out loud too. I wouldn't be able to sing anymore. But saying that out loud, I feel the same type of, not necessarily disgust, but just, I don't know, disdain for myself and aspects of myself. Even though in the moment I don't mind. Or at least it's really because I don't think about it. In the moment, I don't know. But I don't think about how much I dislike what I'm doing in the moment. So I can do it freely. But when I'm in moments like this, where I am thinking about it, then I fucking hate it. But it's a trade off. It's a weird trade off. Anyway, back to what I was originally talking about before I partially cut myself off and partially got interrupted by a fucking moth or whatever the hell this was. Um, Humans attach themselves to stupid things, stupid concepts, stupid ways of life, or ways of being that they think. No, fuck. But yeah, just yeah. Simply put, ways of life, ways of thinking, ways of acting towards other people. Some people choose to attach themselves to racist fucking shit. Some people choose themselves. What the fuck? Well, yeah. I mean, you could put it that way. You could. Some people choose themselves. Choose themselves to. That wouldn't make sense really. But some people choose to have a more homophobic approach to life, Some people choose to have just overall bigotry. Some people choose to have xenophobia. Sorry, I was talking while I was yawning. Some people choose to have xenophobia, like really bad. Um, and even not caring or being attached can have a detriment too. You know, it can be fine for a bit, but then you kind of find it hard to, I guess, connect in a deeper way. You know, and then we have the typical human problems too, of just feeling awkward or weird in situations. You know, like even something as simple as someone being quiet in a car can make you feel uncomfortable. But if the person that's being quiet is comfortable being quiet and other people aren't, it just feels weird and awkward, you know? But then if you tell it to someone, yeah, I just feel more comfortable being quiet, someone could take that as a passive aggressive insult, you know? Or someone could just understand it because maybe they feel the same way, you know? Um, But yeah, like you could have a fucked up cop that chooses to attach themselves to more racist ideologies that happens to target you one day because you're in the car that they decided to pull over because it's a nice car or it's a shabby car or it's um anything for any fucking reason, you know? Obviously there are legitimate reasons like busted tail light or no license plate or something blocking your back windows or like your mirror not being able to see, you know. I don't know. Well, then again, I don't know because some people adjust their mirrors differently. Um, you know, or you could just get a normal cop that's just doing their job, you know, but you decide to do some stupid shit and you end up in prison. You know, like robbing a Walgreens with your friends. You know, and really robbing a Walgreens is for kids is basically like having a bunch of shit and then walking outside or running outside really because they're kids and they're still ultimately scared of consequences just like adults, but adults have the ego of adults, you know. I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird at times, I guess, for lack of better words. Being me, I hate myself but I also really like myself, but I only like myself to a degree. But I hate myself astronomically. um, I don't know why those first words in my brain popped up. I guess because it rhymed. Well, I guess anything with Lee at the end would have rhymed. Um, but yeah, it's fucking. I don't know. It's funny, dude. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, it's sad, but blech. You know, blech, blech, blech. Only temporary, at least for this life. You know. Maybe I die in 5 years. Maybe I die in 10. Maybe I die when I'm 100. You know. Maybe I die when I'm 110. You know. Um, or maybe I don't. And humans plus AI come up with countless longevity technologies. You know. Could be as simple as just taking the head off the body and putting it in a jar and then allowing it to exist longer than normal. Or you have actual medicines that rejuvenate the cells. The cells. I don't know why I said it like that the first time. Um, yeah, I don't know, but it's weird. I don't know. it feels weird though, because it's not like, well, no. At times it gets as bad as me fantasizing about cutting off my own face. Um, but for the most part, I think I've just coped with living as myself for so long that I kind of just say these things. And I mean, that's kind of how I say most things. I don't really think of how others are interpreting it because a part of me just doesn't give a fuck, you know? And it feels weird because I feel like, oh, I'm just being edgy when I say it, but I think that's how everyone feels. You know, like when you say things, you don't really care how other people are taking it because it's what you want to say. But then other people convince you through either facial expressions or their feedback verbally, um, or just conditioning in general from parents and society. Um, they convince you to care, you know? But you can't truly live in the world and not care because it comes at like a grave detriment to your well-being, you know? That could be as simple as you don't care, so you live on your own and you don't talk to anyone else, but then you're just lonely all the time, but you're by yourself all the time and you kind of just cope and exist like that. But it'll make it harder and harder and harder to socialize with people when you try to re-socialize. But even then, not really. If you just remember that it's all normal, you could spend 10 years alone by yourself and then enter back into society and just be fine because you just remind yourself that it's normal. You know, because you don't have to think of yourself as an awkward or weird person just because you think other people view you that way. It's hard to do so when you actually think that, but you can always remind yourself that you're not awkward and weird, you're just you, you know? I wonder if future me is listening to this right now. Then again, knowing him, he probably wouldn't be because I know myself. He would if he didn't sound like me anymore because he wouldn't really have an attachment to this version of himself beyond him and other people knowing that this version of him or them, hopefully it's them by then, um, was him, you know? He would remember, or at least, I mean, the memories would slowly fade. They would kind of just be feelings, and yeah, it would just get vague, more and more and more vague and foggy as time went on. But he would remember the people, or even just the feelings around those people that cause him to be the way he is now. Like, for example, me, present me, I'm the way I am because of things I've done or said to other people, you know, that then cause me to reflect and not want to be those versions of myself that cause the suffering. And because I am the way I am, I will eventually grow into whoever you are, and then so on and so on and so forth. You, because you are the way you are, will eventually grow into whoever you are in 1,000 years. Even if that means at some point you decide to block off access to your memories or just remove them entirely and then view them back like these, like YouTube videos, and just view them back every 100 years or so, so you remember who you were, you know? But you enter it with a new perspective, meaning You could block off access to your memories of 100 years and then go to an entirely different place, learn an entirely new language, be raised by entirely different people, or no one at all, you know, speak a different language, have a different culture, different perspective. But ultimately, because you're you, you would still keep the core identity. It would just be this different core, or it would be the same core operating through a different lens, basically. In all the different core, or well, all of the same cores in different instances of life would all converge into the same person once you re-remember everything. And you would take different lessons from each version. You know, you could even create a group of people, or have like a group of people that you kind of form, and you all specifically do something, or you all essentially take turns doing this thing over and over and over again, where you put each other in different walks of life with the same core, obviously because you're the same person, but you do it so that you can gain extreme skills in different categories. One life, maybe you cultivate them to be a really good fighter, and well, yeah. Um, Another life, you cultivate them to be a really good mechanic. Another life, you cultivate them to be a really good scientist. Another life, you cultivate them to be a really good mathematician. Um, another life, you cultivate them to be a um, really good with languages. You know, and then by the end of the entire journey, all of you are masters in basically every field. You know, you could do it through a simulation thing where you simulate the entirety of human existence and you do it. You know, it's just you and your group of friends that are simulating these countless Earths, and you are essentially existing in them. You know, like basically prime you, but without access to the rest of your lives, the rest of the memories from your past lives, literally past lives, as in not that you've died. Well, in a sense that you have died because you lost access to those versions of you, but in the sense that you've lived 500 years, but you don't have access to those 500 years of memories because you've blocked them off from yourself. You know, or you've just taken them out entirely. You know, ready for them to be re-downloaded at any point, or just watched later as memories. Um, you know, it's not even like oh, that's the purpose. It's just what you've decided to do because that would be cool. You know, it would be cool to have to basically essentially it would be a way over a long ass period of time to max out every stat, or at least become extremely high level in every stat. You know, and then once you've finished essentially the prologue of becoming really good at everything with you and your friends, um, you then go into one simulation all together with all of your memories from everything, and you just live the life you want, the life that you've decided you want, you know? Not with your memories erased, but you just go in with all of those hundreds or probably thousands of years together within your one existence, and you just go into a reality. Maybe you make yourselves immortal and you go from being cave people, maybe even existing alongside the dinosaurs, you know, And then you just exist. Maybe you have other people that exist there too, you know? And then you just mate with them, creating like a handful of like technically sacred bloodlines because they have their DNA would have an immense amount of knowledge, you know? Like, that would be pretty interesting. Not in some eugenics or like Puritan or master race kind of way, but like in a video game interesting kind of fucking way, you know? Like, that just seems interesting as fuck. And what if that group of friends, quote unquote, is the entirety of the human race? Everyone who's ever existed is pulled from essentially reality when they die. No matter the time period, no matter what. Basically the prime Earth, that entire timeline, all of its people are pulled out when they die. From the first caveman to the last human to ever exist within their futuristic whatever the fuck world, down to the end of the earth. All of those people, once they die, are pulled out of reality and put in essentially into like a, not even heaven of sorts, but it would be heaven because it would be peace. You know, you would have all have the lived experience to fully want and embrace peace because you've died. You know, everyone at the end of their life pretty much just wants peace. You don't care about wars or resources or what's mine is mine. You just want to exist alongside everyone else. I wonder if you can hear that. It's loud as fuck. Might be able to. I don't know. But yeah. But yeah, like that entire like group of friends, quote unquote, is the entirety of the human race. And that's what we could be doing this entire time. We will never, ever, ever, thankfully so, understand the true scale of infinity. Ever. There are ants, there are plants, there are people, as in human people. Everyone is a person, though. There are dogs, there are cats, there are fucking single-celled amoeba. And they all exist, contributing to that infinite scale of existence. And that's just physically. And on this dimension, you could have a three-dimensional being that chooses to exist as a two-dimensional being. Infinity is truly infinite. Means that we are extremely significant due to our insignificance.